Hello, traders. Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com, Sunday, April 26, 2026. In this edition of your weekend video newsletter, we'll discuss how the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq managed to close at all-time highs on Friday, basically driven by better than expected corporate earnings and optimism over the US-Iran talks. That leaves us with 10 bullish indicators, 6 neutral, and 4 bearish to start this week of trading. Bottom line, semiconductors rallied for 18 days straight without any relief, and there is some signs that money is rotating into utilities, industrials, and consumer staples. So caution is warranted as we search for new leadership this week. The S&P, of course, closed at all-time highs, creating this upward sloping or ascending flag with RSI rising, volume increasing over the last 3 weeks, MACD and stochastics bullish. That's coupled with the Qs also making new all-time highs. RSI embedded showing muscle, volume clearly bullish over the last few weeks as well, MACD and stochastics rising. With the Qs and growth outperforming last week, it's no surprise that the New York FANG components also rose to new levels, rallying back over the last 4 weeks, but just shy of all-time highs. RSI embedded, MACD and stochastics look bullish to start the week. That said, semiconductors have been trading higher for the last 4 weeks, extended with record-breaking chip sales and positive commentary out of Intel on Friday, leading, of course, to a substantial rally over the last 4 weeks. At the same time, VIX declined to 1870, while demand for VIX options was muted, with the VIX falling to 97.2 near the low end of its 3-month range. While this is happening, of course, breadth has been deteriorating over the S&P 500, mid caps, small caps, and the Nasdaq, while the latter two seem to be turning into the Monday open, despite the equal weight index continuing to fade over the last 4 trading days. The number of stocks trading above the 20-day and the number of stocks trading above the 50-day in the upper and lower panels, respectively, continue to fade. That's telling us to be careful that there might be rotation continuing this week into utilities and consumer staples, all the while recognizing that the tech sector is showing tremendous strength and volume indicates that we could see a follow-through. We just have to wait for confirmation on Monday. As usual, one of the first things we'll be watching for on Monday morning is junk bonds. Do they follow through along with high yield corporate, or do they fade and give us a bearish signal to start the week, along with a signal from the 10-year yield? We'd look for this to fade a bit more as well, back down to the 50-day moving average. If we can get junk bonds and high yield corporate up and a 10-year down, that would be a nice tailwind for the bulls. Of course, the caveat is crude oil prices and the Iran conflict, whether or not that will subside somewhat. Brent closed higher on Friday, bouncing during the week off of the 50-day moving average in the preceding week, leaving spot gasoline at 52-week highs. In addition, commodities in general, the Deutsche Bank Commodity Tracking Fund is trading at highs as well. So we need these commodity-related items to continue to fade back, not rally higher. So that's all contingent upon what's going on with the Iran conflict as we start the week. Looking at Sunday futures tonight to give us an early indication of what to expect. With the 18-day rally and semiconductors still underway and tech showing tremendous strength, there is some rotation into utilities as we just mentioned. So with that in mind, we'll be looking at the IBD 50 list below along with some scans, in addition to stocks that we were trading last week, looking for a follow-through as we start Monday trading. Some of the stocks from those scans to end the week could follow through as we start off on Monday. Watch for SNDK and LITE, potentially to follow through. Western Digital also continues this bullish trend, while Intel, of course, blew out earnings, gapping up, tagging 85 before retreating into a doji. We'll be looking for any kind of fade in Intel to start the week. In addition to these stocks from the IBD 50 list, ASML looking to take a trade on this one. If we start to rally and semiconductors continue to follow through this week, also watching AMD, AMSC, American Semiconductor, and ARM Holdings. Most of these IBD 50 stocks are above their 20 and 50-day moving averages, with bullish crossovers in stocks like APLD. Volume on Thursday, potentially a follow-through this week in APLD, with a 9 and 21-day cross just shy of 52-week highs. RSI continues to rise. Volume increased on Thursday, a little bit of selling on Friday, so we'll see how that follows through. While Astera Labs continues, and Credo look for some continuation. Again, 921 day up and to the right, 50 days up and to the right. Most of these stocks will likely see some continuation. LRCX trying to break out of a range, got rejected on Friday. With Micron attempting a breakout, following through, we did rotate our call spreads up and out to the 500-510 for August, coupled with Taiwan Semiconductor and Intel strength on Friday. We also have to be mindful of picks and shovels type stocks for these big data centers that are continuing to see CapEx spending affect their bottom line. So watch for Applied Optoelectronics to follow through this week, along with Lumentum and GLW. All of these look pretty good. Should growth stocks continue to see bullish flows this week. Okay, traders, that's going to do it for me. This is Cousin Benny coming to you from theclosingprint.com, Sunday, April 26, 2026. I'll send out a watch list later tonight around 12 midnight on the East Coast, around 9 o'clock on the West Coast. So there'll be the stocks that are most likely follow through after we watch the futures open tonight. So make sure you check your inbox for that later tonight. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, and we'll see you in the morning. Ciao.